This afternoon, the minority in Parliament has served notice it will file a contempt case against government over non-compliance with the Supreme Court ruling asking the Finance Ministry to halt capping of monies earmarked for the district assemblies. The Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, in 2017 through Parliament, resolved to cap the Common Fund, arguing that the move will cushion government to remove the stringencies in public expenditure. But the NDC challenged the move, which was endorsed by the Supreme Court. Addressing the media earlier today, Deputy Ranking Member on Parliament's Local Government Committee, Benjamin Bodo, alleged that apart from breaching an apex court ruling, the Finance Ministry has also misapplied funds meant for the assemblies. The whole Central MP has given government a 1-month ultimatum to settle arrears owed the assemblies. Listen.
Indeed, the DACF is simply not working today, having been rendered impotent. The monies due to the fund have not been given to the fund to enable it to carry out its mandate as abundantly outlined by the Constitution and the relevant Act. Indeed, many people think that this Assemblies Common Fund is refusing to give money to the assemblies. But let's go into the reasons why that appears to be so. One, difficulties of the management of the DACF. One, underfunding of the District Assemblies Common Fund. This government has persistently done everything possible to deprive the District Assemblies Common Fund of the needed funds for the discharge of its constitutionally mandated duties. Amounts due to the DACF were under-provided for and owed to the fund for 2017 and 2018. The debts were partly settled in 2020 with monies borrowed during the COVID-19 intervention period. An amount of 144 million was applied for that. In June 2019, the Supreme Court, in the case of Benjamin Bodo and Richard Kwashiga versus Attorney General, ruled that as a constitutional creation, the DACF could not be capped, and that the receipts from petroleum sources should be included in the total revenues when computing funds due to the DACF. But the Ministry of Finance is refusing to properly comply with the directives of the apex court. Emphasis. They are refusing to properly comply with the directives of the apex court. The Ministry of Finance deducts certain amounts from the total revenue before computing the 5% of the balance for the DACF. These are revenues ceded to GNPC and GRA. That is the Ghana Revenue Authority. For instance, when you determine the total revenue, they will cut off some for GNPC, cut off some for Ghana Revenue Authority before they calculate 5% on the balance. These are also agencies of state, just like other MMDAs. So their budgetary allocation should be made after the constitutional 5% is provided for the DACF. We consider this practice as a ploy to reduce the amount due to the DACF, because the bigger the pot, the higher the amount due to DACF. So if they reduce the pot, then a lower amount will be due to the DACF. And we think it is unconstitutional. B, the Ministry of Finance has failed to release funds to the DACF for several quarters over the 2020 to 2021 period, fiscal years. This is a clear violation of the 1992 Constitution, Article 252. Indeed, we want to state clearly to Ghanaians that payments have not been made by quarterly installments as stipulated in Article 252(2). The Ministry of Finance is very heavily indebted to the DACF, the amount has run to about 2 billion Ghana cedis plus. It's not LGBTQ plus. 2 billion plus. That is what amount the Ministry of Finance is owing to this Assemblies Common Fund. And it's made up as follows. In 2019, the amount owed is 700 million Ghana cedis. That is per the Auditor General's report. In 2020, we've done the calculation. The Ministry of Finance is owing the Common Fund 587 million plus. And 2021, where nothing has been paid, the estimates for first and second quarter only,
even that one based on their own figures.
Based on their own figures, the amount they are owing is 884 million Ghana cedis. When you add this, it is indeed 2,170 million, which the Ministry of Finance is owing this Assemblies Common Fund. For the whole of 2021, not even a peso has been paid to the DACF as we sit here. Not even one dime in Ghana is pesos has been paid to the DACF for the whole of 2021. We have been informed that a release letter was issued for the first quarter for an amount of 434,291,958 Ghana cedis, 21 pesos. But no money has been paid to the DACF as of today. Now, what is the result of all this? The consequence of all this is that the DACF is unable to release funds to the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies for one complete year of their operations. One complete financial year, nothing has been given to the assemblies. We are calling on the government to change its way of determining when the money is due. That is to determine the monies due to the DACF within a maximum of 1 month after the end of each quarter, and accordingly release same to the DACF.
A local government committee. He is also MP for Sojaman. I'm grateful for your time, sir. The minority is alleging that government has misappropriated funds meant for the assemblies. That's a strong statement, you know, to make. Do you have any proof?
We have a lot of proof, and the proof is that the assemblies have not been paid the monies that is due them. That is enough proof. Beyond that, I don't think anybody will require any additional proof. The Constitution is clear that the government should collect revenue, and when the total revenue has come, a minimum of 5% should be disbursed to the assemblies through the District Assemblies Common Fund. And as we speak now, that quarterly installments payment that the government is required to send to the assemblies has not happened. And so there is every evidence that government is flouting that simple constitutional directive.
What happens then if the government fails to settle arrears owed the assemblies after your 1 month ultimatum expires? Hello, Mr. Nyankwo.
Aisha, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm asking what next for you if government fails to... All right, so there's a terrible connection there with Thomas Nyankwo Ampem's line. Stay with me also because Mr. Thomas Ampem Nyankwo will be joining us again for this conversation, but I'll bring in the national coordinator of the Concerned Assembly Members Association of Ghana, David Atachum. David Atachum, I'm grateful for your time. You are an assembly member, though you haven't received a common fund. Don't you have internally generated revenues?
Thank you very much. As I would like to use this opportunity to extend my greetings to your cherished viewers. Though we have IGF, internally generated fund, but Aisha, what the problem is, if you are not fortunate to have assembly which have enough capacity to mobilize this revenue, then it means that we are going to suffer. Because looking at me, for example, Doma Center, for example, there is nothing much. So if you want to rely on IGF, then it means about 30 electoral areas within the municipality, we are going to suffer like what is happening as we speak now. Because when these things happen, your street lights, your uncompleted school building for the children, all these challenges will have to come back to you, the assembly member. So the IGF is there, but it is not enough to cater for the challenges that we've been facing within our various electoral areas.
Well, efforts to reach management of the District Common Fund is to respond to the concerns raised by the minority have been unsuccessful, but we'll keep trying. Well, let's stay a bit longer on this subject because the latest report published by the Ghana Statistical Service, which puts the spotlight on residential proximity to essential service facilities, shows that 73% of residential clusters in rural areas nationwide do not have access to a health facility. This means that if you live in rural Ghana, you're most likely to lose your life when faced with a health emergency. Gushegu district in the northern region is the most underserved district in the country, with 54.5% of residents lacking access to health facilities. We're joined by Mumuni Mohammed, Send Ghana Northern Regional Program Manager, to shed more light on how the districts can turn around their fortunes with the District Common Fund. I'm grateful for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
How important is this fund to local development?
The Decentralization Act, actually clearly states that physical decentralization is very critical as far as development of the districts are concerned. And so, what is happening in Gushegu now is a manifestation of what we are experiencing at the moment in terms of the erratic or the irregular nature of flow of the Common Fund. The Common Fund is the basic, the main funding source to the district assembly. And to the extent that the Common Fund hasn't been religiously, paid to the district, that means that the district cannot implement their development interventions, which includes, infrastructure projects in the health sector. This is not just common to this government. District Assemblies Common Fund has been in arrears. No government has strictly been able to follow, the quarterly disbursement. But I think the current challenge we have to look at it from two folds. For me, the fact that the Common Fund has been cut, meaning that the contour of money has been reduced, but matters have been made worse with the erratic nature in terms of its disbursement. So we are told that since October 2020, no assembly has received anything. If you were to check the annual action plan of Gushegu, and for that matter, their composite budget, there will be specific infrastructure projects for the health sector. The fact that this hasn't happened, they cannot implement that. There are several uncompleted infrastructure projects in Gushegu. In fact, we have a project currently in the area called People for Health. My recent monitoring revealed several uncompleted health infrastructure projects. Without the Common Fund or funding to the district assemblies, there is no way they can be able to implement this. And what it means is that citizens will be denied access to healthcare. So we think that government has to be proactive. We have spoken about the issue of IGF, but we are not taking measures to make sure that districts can generate IGF. Even when they generate, the guidelines that is expected to make sure that it is not used for routine expenditure, and for that matter, their everyday administration, it's something that we have to pay attention to. I agree that the funding, the amount that assemblies are able to generate is not much, but even when it's generated, it's not being used well. So aside the Common Fund, I think that government needs to step up its efforts to empower district assemblies to generate resources internally. I mean, the common fund has proven not to be adequate. Even if it was made available, it's been cut. And so it means that we have to look at other alternatives. We have the district development facility, DDL, which used to go to the district. These days, it's not also that common. So the common fund is not that common. So we have to look at practical measures. How can district assemblies, look at their revenue baskets and be able to take pragmatic steps to increase their revenue basket in order that they can meet, the increasing demand as far as infrastructure development is concerned at their various districts.
So Thomas is back on the line for us. Thomas, you were telling me what you do if your ultimatum expires and government fails to hit your demand. Kindly unmute for me.
Hello, Aisha.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
Hello, Thomas, I was asking.
Yes, from far.
Go ahead, Thomas.
Far back as 2017, the government of the IMF loan paid the arrears that they owed the District Assembly Common Fund for 20. They owe the District Assembly Common Fund in excess of 2 billion cedis. The Auditor General report revealed that 700 million cedis is owed the District Assembly's Common Fund for the year 2019. For the year 2020, it is approximately 600 million. This year, 2021, not a single peso has been transferred to the assemblies through the District Assemblies Common Fund. And so this is unacceptable. That's why we have served notice that we cannot continue to approve budget for the government to go and do something contrary to what has been approved. And so we are advising ourselves, before they bring the next budget for us to approve in Parliament, we expect that the fourth quarter 2020 funds must be transferred. We expect that a minimum of 2 quarters, first and second quarters 2021, must be transferred to the district assemblies through the District Assemblies Common Fund. Otherwise, we will not be comfortable sitting down and merely approving budgets that will not be respected by the government. And Aisha, it has never happened in the history of this country that Common Fund will be in arrears in excess of 1 whole year. It has never happened. We've always seen some form of arrears owed the district assemblies by the District Assemblies Common Fund. But it has.
All right, so that is Thomas Nyako. He's with the Local Government Committee in Parliament, and he's explaining why it is necessary for government to release the Common Fund for a lot of developmental projects that needs to be done in our communities. Mr. Atachum is still with us, but before I come to you, let me bring in Mumuni Mohammed. What were the recommendations you made in this research?
What we have found out in the past is the fact that if government delays in actually sending the common fund to the districts
for more than a year, this is unacceptable. So why is
it leads to budget overrun. So the fact that a lot of the interventions were started, the common fund has delayed for a long time, contractors are not able to go to site, it leads to budget overrun. So what we are recommending is that government has to find a way, because you see the resources are generated and the percentage of that is supposed to go to the common fund administrator for onward disbursement to the district assembly. The question is, having been mobilized, what we were supposed to mobilize as a country. So it is deliberate that the law says a percentage. So no matter how small we have mobilized, that percentage should go to the district assemblies. So we are saying that government needs to improve timely disbursement to the district assemblies. But we have also recognized the inadequacy in terms of the quantum of the common fund. And what it means is that there has to be measures to boost up revenue mobilization or generation at the district level. I mean, this particular government has over the last 3-4 budgets indicated that they are taking steps to raise revenue at the district level. I don't think that is happening. And that is the reason for the current challenges that we have. If we want to sustain development at the district level, the common fund in itself cannot necessarily implement all the interventions. Government has to step up efforts to ensure district assemblies take pragmatic steps to generate revenue, but even make sure that their idea, which is the internal generated funds, there are specific guidelines. I think that some districts are actually generating so much, especially in the south or the metropolitan areas. But the fact that we don't have specific guidelines to actually guide how they expend that, for me, is a problem. But the reality also is that if we were to do a critical analysis, we realize that some of the metropolitan and municipal assemblies do not actually need a common fund. So it is rather those rural districts that need it. If you look at what some of them are able to generate as their ideal, it is far more than their common fund. Should we then be prioritized and say that given the content you generate, we will find a way to increase the funding amount? This has implication on the common fund as a general, but I think that we have to take steps to make sure that one, we increase revenue generation, otherwise the common fund will never be adequate to implement development interventions. The district assemblies can make sure that they increase and put in place systems to ensure that there are no leakages. How can the whole district assembly within a year generate less than 60,000? I was in an engagement 2 days ago, Miam District. An official of the district assemblies, an assembly member said for a whole year they couldn't generate more than 60,000 Ghana cedis. What can 60,000 be used for? There are several properties in the district. People are not paying property rates. So I think that there's a general problem with the common fund issue, but we have to look at the bigger picture about how do we get resources to the district assemblies to make sure interventions to benefit the citizens at the district level. The situation, it's something that we have to take as a case. How can we make sure that resources are made available? Because Bushewu is one of the oldest districts in Northern region. And what it means is that despite the huge resources that have been poured in the area, there's still a big gap. And I think that Bushewu, it's a case that we have to take up as far as, taking steps to raise revenue for district assemblies to improve access to services as far as the health sector is concerned. Right.
David Atachum is still with us. David Atachum, what do you intend to do as an association? You heard Thomas say that this has never happened. This long delay has never happened. How do you intend to press on government to deal with this issue?
Yeah, at the confirmation, during the confirmation of the MMDC, we were told that if we want the timely release of the common fund, especially in particular this 2021 year, we have to confirm the MMDC so that they can release the common fund for various work that has been put on hold, especially classrooms and street lights which have gone off totally. If we want them to be fixed, then we have to confirm one so that these funds can be released to the assembly so that they can face our challenges. But as of now, like you heard the MP and the other colleague who was also speaking, as of now, nothing has been done to it. When you go to our various electoral areas, it seems everything is not working because now the people are falling, relying on us to use our own pocket money to be fixing, especially the street lights. And it is having a serious challenge on us. When you come to my electoral area, for instance, there is one 8-unit classroom block which was given to a contractor out of the common fund. Now, the contractor has not been on site since 2021. When you asked him, he said, no fund has been given to me. Now, the students are forced to go to school under a starter which has been elected by the community. And it is having a significant impact, which is very dear to the future of these young ones. So what we are saying that we are giving government by the close of the year, if it happens that nothing has been released for various challenges that we have within our electoral areas to be faced, then there will be no other way than to embark on series of demonstrations to demonstrate to the Ghanaian population and especially to our constituents that this is what is happening. That is the reason why there are a lot of challenges within our electoral areas. And as the most amazing thing is that most of our people within our electoral areas think that these monies or the government even pays us money to be fixing, for example, street lights and petty challenges. So when a street light goes off and they come to complain, oh, one of our street lights are off, and we try to explain, they take no for an answer because they know it is your duty to fix. Meanwhile, they are giving nothing. All in the name government have delayed releasing this common funds for MMDCs to embark on projects. When you go to Assembly, when you report anything to them, they will tell you, as it stands now, nothing has been released to us. Even at the time that the MMDCs have not been confirmed. When you go there, they'll tell you, Honorable, we can't release any fund because we've been asked not to pay a check more than 2,000 Ghana cedis. Now, we've confirmed them. The challenges that we have is even going up, and it's even higher than as it used to be. So, like I said, we are giving government by the close of the year. If nothing is done, then we will have no other alternative than to explain to our constituents that this is what is happening. So we are going on the demonstration. So there is a need for you to join us for us or to demonstrate to the government that there is a need to send down this common fund so that the development of our electoral areas can happen as our people demand it. So
I'm grateful for your time.
By the close of the
Right, I'm grateful for your time. David Atachume is coordinator, Concerned Assembly Members Association of Ghana. Mumuni Mohammed is with Send Ghana, and he's the programs manager for the Northern region. Earlier, we're joined by Thomas Nyaku, who is a member of the Local Government Committee of Parliament and MP for Isuajama.